in college. This was at Northwestern, so a school that we transferred to. I meet this girl, Hannah. Shout out Hannah. We just kind of like click, become good friends. So it was actually I think this was our senior year. Sorry, next year. After we've known each other for a little bit, we decided to go to a concert like 2 hours away and come back for this was Sunday night. Come back for like the beginning of like our senior year classes on Monday, and we both are the same exact way. Like we cannot drive. We can't do it.
Oh.
So it was like, I kid you not, it was like we would drive for 30 minutes. We'd have to pull over, slap ourselves, do some lunges, put some like cold water on us, switch drivers, drive another. It was the longest trek back because we were both so tired. I wonder if she remembers this, but we got so annoyed with each other because we both were like,
my
yeah, we're
gosh.
fine, we can do it, because we figured we were on the concert hype again, downplaying our ability to drive while we're
Yeah.
tired. And we were just so pissed at each other because we were like, well, you said you could. And we were like, well, you said you could. And we realized we were great friends and we loved the concerts, but we got to bring a third person solely to maybe drive at night because it ain't gonna be good for us. So
Or get a
yeah,
room or
that could have been.
something.
I mean, honestly, we thought about like, should we just sleep for a couple hours and then
Do just pull
go?
over.
We should have.
Honestly,
I think at that point we were like, we're dedicated, and I guess we had classes the next morning or something. So
Hey, it's Casey.
I'm Meredith.
and this is Kiara.
And we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because
Red's up. Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Ready? Hi, guys. Welcome back to the It's Been Forever podcast. It's been a while, so I'm Kiara.
I'm Casey. And I'm Meredith.
I know
It's been a while.
It's been
Our
forever.
title is-
It's been forever, but it has been a while.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah,
been a
maybe
while.
we're rebranding. I don't know. It's a surprise to us all.
Yeah.
It's been since last Wednesday.
It's just we're
It's
rebranding
been
it.
since
a
the
week.
last pod. Actually, but our initials are IBS. So
No, IBS. That's
Wait,
irritable bowel
it's
syndrome.
been you're right.
I mean, it's close. It's close.
But I mean, it's kind of close to IBS. Let's be honest. Yeah.
I honestly got tripped up because
yeah. And then you
in
said
my
the
head I
other
was like,
thing,
it's
yeah.
not that other
I get
thing,
that.
and
It's
then
a
I
little
said the
too
other
close.
thing. You know what I mean? Oh gosh. Well, anyways,
Yeah,
welcome
yeah.
back, you guys,
I like
to
that.
episode 13 of the podcast. We have a fun topic to talk to you guys about today that I think parts of it will be super relatable and parts will just be kind of funny, and you'll get to know us on, a different level. But before we get into it, okay, I kind of have a random life update, and please guys chime in with any kind of week update. But
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited.
no, this is fresh. Unless I have said it, but I really don't think I have. The 75 hard mare, as you've done, haven't you done the 75 hard?
Uh-huh.
Dang, that's actually really impressive because I feel like I'm struggling on day like 11 and I'm doing the soft version and I'm like, do I need to restart? But anyways, I thought I was going to be
Yeah.
really good, really healthy and meal prep, right? And I got some like beef. I'm making this little beefy thing. I don't even know. This like special Trader Joe's pasta, this beefy thing with sauce and stuff. I mean, okay, essentially spaghetti,
beef.
but it's like this certain kind of spaghetti from Trader Joe's, but then beef in it. Well, where the beef comes into play is the next morning I woke up with like extreme sharp pains in my stomach that I was like, am I okay? Like, I don't really wake up. I'm a heavy sleeper, and even if I have pain, I can wake up in the normal hours and be like, okay, ouch, something hurts, whatever. But this was like I woke up in the middle of the night
Ooh.
from pain, and
Yeah.
I could not eat like for the whole day, and I think it was the freaking
Tell
beef.
us about the beef. Tell us, like, what was the situation with the beef? Like, did
I
you leave it
think
out? Like,
freaking beef.
I feel like there's
Was it food poisoning?
something happening.
I maybe.
Yep,
Yeah.
I knew it.
Well,
So
yep.
you said Trader
knew
Joe's.
it.
Okay,
I
this
knew
is
it.
gonna
Just say it.
expose myself. This is gonna expose myself. I don't claim to be a chef.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the meat that I put in the freezer, right? I kind of like left it out for a little bit to thaw. Parts of it were still frozen, but
Okay,
I was
that's
like,
fine.
you know, I'm just
So far,
kind of
this is fine.
impatient and I want to put it on the oven. Okay, well that's good. But I
No,
in my head I was
no,
like,
not
maybe
at
it's
all.
because it was frozen and then
Yeah.
it
No.
yeah. Oh
No,
yeah.
because it is. I mean, it
I
was
thought you were gonna say like you
browned,
left out the
right?
meat.
It was
like
there was
for a
nothing
couple
pink.
Well, there's the
hours,
No, that's
thing.
totally
and
fine
then-
as long as there's no pink in the ground beef.
Oh no.
Which honestly, even that I've done that. If you leave it out for like a day
Yeah.
or two, that's when it's
No,
like
well,
no,
here's the
you
thing.
know?
I don't think it was pink. Like it didn't look pink, but then I feel like when I was eating it, I was like, it kind of tastes weird.
or maybe
So
you
I
just
don't
had a
know if
bad
it was like
batch.
old meat. Maybe I had
Oh.
a bad batch, and maybe I had. And
Maybe
then
you got a bad batch. Kira, I don't think it was
okay,
your
thank
fault.
you. That makes me feel better because
No.
I thought it was because I was a bad chef, and that I got food poisoning,
Well,
and I don't know
mean,
how to
you
cook.
were a vegetarian
friggin'
for the
beef.
No, I don't think
beginning
it's
part
your
of your
fault.
life, so that's you do get a pass on cooking beef. So,
Flexitarian.
are you still gonna like
Yes.
shop at Trader Joe's?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Is this
There's a little gap there in your knowledge.
okay? You're scarred.
I'm a little scarred, but I think where, our topic today comes into play, I'm just going to dive into it. One of my fears is like that I'd get a
Ooh.
parasite and then it would like eat me, but then it would like eat my whole like lining of my stomach and then I die. Like I think I actually have a fear of like eating something bad and then there's like parasites in me.
I mean, it
Maybe
could
that's
happen
rational,
depending
I
where
don't
you
know,
go,
but
I think you're pretty careful.
Oh my gosh.
What?
yeah. Ooh, yes.
Okay, I have a story. So when I was home in Pennsylvania a month ago, my cousin's husband, who we know, he went to Heston. He told us that one morning he like went to the bathroom, or like he was driving to work and he felt
Stop.
like
Ew.
it. He said it felt like his like butthole like quivering.
It's like
And he was like, "Oh man, I really have to go to the bathroom." So he went and
you
he
have to
pooped,
pull it out.
and there was a parasite. There's like a tapeworm. Like he like pulled it out. He
Oh.
showed us a picture of it. I can't remember if he pulled it out or if he saw it in the toilet. I think he pulled it out because he showed us a picture of it.
No, I
He took
get
a
it,
picture
yeah.
of it and it was
Oh.
laying on like a
That
piece of tissue.
is
Toilet
a piece
paper?
of tissue. Or like
Oh,
what's it
no.
called? Toilet paper. Thank you. It was like 10 inches long, and he and he looked it up online, and it was like they said it lays something about like
Are
a
you-
billion
is he
eggs
Wait,
a
so are there
day.
eggs
worms?
inside of him?
Did he go to the doctor?
So I'm probably so he had to he like yes, and he like took an antibiotic, and I think he's fine. I haven't heard an
Oh my
update since,
gosh.
so I guess no news is good news. But yeah, yikes. So that's kind of a valid fear. Also, he like is a
Yeah.
hunter. Like he eats like what he hunts.
I was just gonna
Like, I
ask
don't-
how he thinks
you know what
he
I mean?
got
Like
it.
I
Like from like
so
a deer or
maybe there's something
Maybe
with
it-
that. I don't know.
You know that one episode of The Office where Kelly is like, I hate this tapeworm that's inside of me because Creed sells her a tapeworm. but
Yes.
that was no tapeworm.
Oh.
Yes, for the challenge
To
they
like
get,
lose
an
weight,
extra
wasn't it? Or
paid
something?
vacation.
And he was
Yeah.
like, "That was no tapeworm."
That's all I can think about in that. Like,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
that's so disgusting.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you guys a reel then. I saw a reel then that I sent to my cousin, and it was a cow running like on the road. Or no, it was a bear. It was a bear,
What?
like a black bear running on the road. And there was like lines, like strings coming out of its butthole, like tapeworms.
Yeah,
My
I saw
jaw
that
is
video
to the
too,
floor
Mary.
right
It
now.
was nasty.
Goes right through
Yeah,
them.
because they probably eat.
Yep,
Whatever
strings.
they see.
It's really common in kids apparently.
So gross. In kids.
Yeah, like one
'Cause
of
they're eating
my
dirt.
coworkers, his son I think is like I don't know 4 or something, and he got sick and then like pooped out a worm, and then my boss was like, should I be concerned? Went to the doctor and they're like, actually this is kind of common in kids. No one really talks about it, but like they feel sick and then it like passes pretty easily, but it is because they just
And then they just poop out the
eat
worm and then they're fine.
random stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then
That's
then they're
wild.
fine. I think kids bodies sometimes are like
Yeah.
I feel like way more immune to a bunch of stuff.
Probably. Okay, I do have a little bit of a confession. I know this isn't last week's episode, but so when I was a little girl.
Oh,
Okay, so give
okay.
me a pass because I was literally like 5. Didn't know how to like wipe. Like I knew how to wipe, but I was going the wrong direction. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
front to back.
Yes, totally.
If
Yeah.
you're
Totally.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
remember having that discussion with my mom because I was doing it the wrong way too. Yeah.
not back to front.
Mm.
I was going the wrong way. Okay, what I didn't
Mhm.
like maybe my mom told me. I don't
Uh-oh.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yes.
That's what happened. Back to front. And I gave myself a little bit of a situation
It's just as easier.
with some worms. Yeah. Yeah. I don't I know.
What?
Well, okay, we need to ask Kath because
With worms.
I had to take medicine because
Wait, I'm so confused.
I was having worms. I don't like, and remember I was like 5, so like I don't, my recollection, it was so okay, it was so
How
itchy.
uncomfortable
Like I just
was?
remember being
Okay.
like,
Oh my gosh.
yes,
Wanting
I know.
to
We'll
like
have to
itch down
ask.
there. Oh,
I know.
God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We'll have to ask Kathy for more details, but I don't remember. I remember I had to take
That is
medicine that tasted
so
like
gross.
nasty bananas. And then they said, you'll just poop it out. It's fine. So I was
Please.
one of those kids that got worms. It is very common because it was one of 3. I don't know. I just made
Ugh.
that stat up. But yeah. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh. So
You're
anyway.
like that dog that rubs its butt against the
Well,
carpet. That's like why dogs do
and
that.
I didn't even see that coming out of myself. All of a sudden I was like, oh, I had worms. Yeah, I just.
You're like,
so-
I have this
so,
memory actually.
Moral of the story, ladies, front to
I
back.
remember.
Front to back.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
And don't eat raw meat.
yeah.
Be careful
Front
what
to
you
back.
eat, pretty
Yeah,
much.
make sure you
That's
cook your meat.
probably understood, but
Don't
Yeah.
eat raw.
That's
I
a
don't know.
given.
cook your meat.
No, I think we need to move on
Yeah.
from worms.
Yeah.
We're talking about fears today. So we're going to try and guess what each other's
Love it.
fears are.
Okay, Kiara, for you, your biggest fear is you have to wear your old wardrobe for the rest of your life from 2010 to 2018. 2010 to 2018. Hair,
Stop.
the chevron, the mint,
That's
all
so
of that.
good.
maxi dresses, skirts. You have to wear that for the rest of your life.
That's bad. Same.
That's my
Meredith.
biggest fear is Kiara dressing
That's
like that.
good. And yeah,
so
definitely a
that's-
fear of mine.
That's my fear for you.
That was
That's
a good
great
one.
My guess for Kiara,
Mm.
knowing Kiara, she's a 7. She loves people. She loves she's kind of you're less like this now, but
Yeah.
7s tend to be very like emotionally avoidant. And because of that, I think that you have a fear of being alone.
Or you have to sit on a stage and tell everyone how you feel.
Mm.
It's thousands of people. Thousands of people.
Okay,
and
that
you have
one I
to
would
get down to
hate
the
more.
nitty gritty of how you feel.
Ooh, that's biggest fear.
Oh gosh.
yeah. Thousands of people.
Oh,
Someone asks you, when was the last time you cried and why? That's your biggest fear.
so I think I would have an answer for that. The being alone, I do feel like that would have been a maybe 5 year ago me. Now I feel like I'm so in my head, like all of my thoughts. I'm like, okay, my mind is just running. It's more exhausting now being alone than anything because
yeah.
I'm like, I've known to bounce these ideas off. I do. I really do love
And
being
you
by
love
myself
Kiki days.
now. I wouldn't have always said that. So
So
that's a good one too.
what is your actual fear? What do you think your biggest fears are?
Okay, my biggest fear ever, which I think is a very, I would say, rational fear, and it's probably a ton of women, probably every woman has had this fear actually, so I want to say that ahead of time. But getting trafficked, getting kidnapped,
Totally.
getting taken, getting trapped in something that I can't get out, like the show You. I love watching it, but I'm like, if that was ever me, I would forget
my
about it, or getting
gosh.
raped, getting whatever, getting
Forget about
taken
it.
from my world involuntarily is always been a fear of mine. I don't know if I read a magazine when I was younger and the girl, I don't know, got kidnapped and raped in something, and then 10 years later maybe escaped, something like that. It was some kind of a rescue story. But
I feel like there was a kind of a craze when we were in our tween years where they would talk about missing girls a lot. And I bet you saw a documentary on
yeah,
what's that, 90 minutes or something? You probably saw something on there. That's what it was.
Yeah.
What is it? 60
Probably.
minutes? Is it 90? Why did I
And
say
then
90?
Yeah.
90
60 minutes?
60 minutes.
120 minutes.
2,000 minutes.
I don't.
60.
20
An hour and a half.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
92 and a
Yeah,
half
I think that would
hours.
be
No,
the
that's
first.
scary.
That's the first thing that came to my mind, and so, and
That's
I do
super
listen to a
valid.
lot of like crime podcasts and stuff too, which in some ways I really do love, but I just have to like space it out, especially like at night or whenever it's dark. Really, that I don't like get totally freaked out. But I have learned a lot of like how to, what measures I should be taking, like in a parking garage or whatever it is, like just having to be always on the note, always alert. But that's
Yeah.
my biggest fear, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we do case next?
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to get to the end and I'm going to be like, yeah, all
Yeah.
of
Oh,
yours
same.
and mine.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
Adopt
no,
my
that's
fears.
totally mine too. But that's not what I wrote. But yeah. You go first, Key.
I said living in your current apartment
No,
for
I
the
mean,
rest of
it's
your
not,
life.
it's really not bad. I act like it, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it is,
Oh,
I
I
actually just said this to
know.
Bryce the other day. I'm like, I think I'm going to be really sad when we leave our apartment because it is like, it's really, I don't know, it's really
Oh,
sweet. I mean, you
wow.
saw it when it was like empty, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's homey. And it's like the first place we've had together and we've lived here for like almost 5 years. So it's just, kind of sweet. I don't know.
That is
Sure.
sentimental though. Can I change mine then and say living at your old situation for until you die?
Amen.
Okay.
There it is. Amen.
Yeah. With context, they lived with another couple, so just that for the rest of your life. I will say that fear.
Having to share kitchen, having to share living space, having to share all of that stuff, and really you're
Yeah.
confined to a bedroom because like it was like their house and so we were just like living in it is horrible. Like what's yours and even the little
Yeah.
possessions that you have, like it's like, I don't know. No,
Yeah.
it's if you feel claustrophobic. So if you've ever like lived with someone but you don't actually feel like you can touch anything, that is the worst feeling in the world. So I hear you. Yes. Agreed.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Like times 1,000, Kira. Yes. Ugh.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is probably going to be like so off base though. But just thinking of like your experiences with cars, and you've had a couple of like little fender benders, but I have a feeling I don't think this is true. Are you like really afraid of getting in like a
No.
car crash?
Not at all.
That's
Okay.
actually
Okay.
I mean, I can pretend to
No.
So
be.
never
I can
mind.
pretend to be based on what you're saying.
Yeah,
Don't
please
pretend.
Okay.
please be.
I'm so scared.
What are you actually afraid of?
Kind of going along with Kira's thing of like living like this is going to sound like really rude because that's just how I do, but let me expand on it once I say it. Living a really basic life. So I'm not someone who's like, I can't wait to like live in this situation and wake up in the morning and like do the same thing all the time and like have my cozy home and like that's cool. That's just like a byproduct, I feel like, of living a rich life, doing experiences, traveling, going places, and then pursuing dreams. So like it would be very regrettable and sad life and very fearful of me to live a very safe life and never push myself to do things that I haven't done before simply because I'm scared of it. I don't like that. And when people are like, "No, I don't want to do that. I haven't done that before." I'm like, "Why?" And so my fear is that I would fall in to just like a basic life of I'm not going to do it because I'm scared or this, that, and the other thing. This is holding me back when it's like the only thing holding me back is just myself being afraid of it. I never want to turn into that. So that's like a big fear of mine that I just lose my sense of self and adventure and that I just fall into the swing of life. And people are like, life is busy and you just go from one thing to the next. And then you're like, oh yeah, we haven't gone anywhere. We don't do anything. Like, we just love our family. We just sit at home. And I'm like, I mean, like I get it. Like I truly, truly get it because I've had very good memories at home growing up and stuff, but there has to be more.
Yeah, you don't
for
fit
me,
that
like,
mold.
to continue to push
You don't fit
me.
that mold.
So that's just
I see that for you too.
That's just me. which is why I moved halfway across the country because that's just
Right.
got to be exciting. Got to
Hmm.
keep it fresh.
I like that.
So there
Totally.
you go.
Mare Bear.
Mayor.
Love it.
Okay, I have mine, and you probably already know what it is, and Kira probably has the exact same thing. Everyone decides that they just hate you and never talk to you again.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie, that's on there.
Gosh.
In one form or another, yeah. That's good.
Oh
You know
my god. Okay.
Okay.
Meredith, I think for you, if you had to convert and be Amish, right now as a 27-year-old, I feel like you would hate that. And this is no slander to the Amish,
my
but I just feel like
gosh.
growing up
No.
in this small town
It's okay, they
Pennsylvania,
won't hear this.
like
Yeah, they're
And they
not
ain't
they're,
listening.
they're not
That's true.
listening.
They're not listening.
stop. But if you had to be Amish and you can take Noah with you, sure,
Yeah.
but like you have to leave everything you
Well,
know.
that's funny because I think Noah would kind of like it
Really?
in a weird way. I don't think he would like it for more than like a year. But like
Huh.
It's your life now.
I think that
That's your life now.
he would kind of be into it, you know. Whereas I would be miserable.
Yeah.
That's just like grueling labor,
I'd-
like
I
with
would
the work
claw my
that
eyes
you
out.
have to
I'd
do.
claw my
and-
eyes out.
Oh, totally.
Blech.
I need it, to go to sleep. I need like 20 minutes of whatever comfort show I'm
Right.
watching at that time. And you
No.
can't do that when you're Amish.
Or
No,
even
you
a couple
can't.
episodes back when you're talking about how, all of the things that would send your Mennonite ancestors into a coma. If you haven't watched that, go back a couple
Oh my
episodes and watch
gosh.
that. Or listen to it. But when you said that you officiated a wedding, and I'm like, you would not be able to do nothing like that in the Amish community.
No.
So
No.
just say goodbye to all of those
No.
things.
Yeah, because you're going to be officiating weddings like left and right now. You just officiate.
Yeah, you're just
this
Yeah,
wedding, that
I'm-
wedding.
I'm-
This is
You're
a
gonna be all
plug
over
if
the
you want
place.
Meredith to officiate your wedding.
So if you actually want
Yep,
Meredith,
sign me up.
So go ahead and just DM us, and
Right.
she's
I charge
free. She's
$1,000
super
a word.
Whoa.
free. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pricey. I know my worth.
She'd be making that.
Wow, must have been a
bank.
really good ceremony.
My fears I actually wrote down. Number one, the one that I interact with the most is spiders.
Yeah, you don't.
Yuck.
I just
Any kind of
Can't do it.
spider?
can't.
Okay.
No, any kind. Because even the little ones, they jump on
Yeah,
you.
I don't love that.
This is the
Like
worst.
people say like, well, they're so small. No, they're
No,
jumping
they're
on
huge.
me. And then there's like those big ones that like can get flat and like somehow crawl like under bookshelves.
Ooh.
And I'm like, where are you from? Outer
Ooh.
space? Are you an
Or the
alien?
ones that like go in your boots.
How do you do
Have
that?
you heard of the ones that like go in your boots and then if you step on it, like
yes.
it gives you some kind of disease? It's like a specific kind of spider that like likes
Yep.
to be in shoes. I think
There's a reason why, like growing up, we had our shoes,
Yeah.
out on our back porch, and I would like
Yeah.
tuck my shoes before I'd put them on in the morning, or like slam them against
Same.
the ground to make sure there's
Same.
nothing in them.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry to unlock that fear in you, Case, but
Well, I
Yeah.
don't leave my shoes outside for that. I mean, just I don't.
they're inside
they're
too.
inside.
They were. You
could
said
be
back
inside.
porch, Meredith. You said you kept.
Yeah, back porch is still inside. Back porch is like
Well,
it's not like an outside deck.
I still
I guess I don't. Your
You know what I
vision of a back porch and my vision of a back porch are not the same vision, I guess, of a back porch.
Our porch was interior.
Okay. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. Well, to go off of Marisphere, I'm just going to broaden the scale. Bugs in general.
Oh,
And I'm just going to, like,
yeah.
if you know me, I call everything is an animal. I don't care how small you are. I don't care how big you are. You are an animal. So today, I was at work, and we're doing a little inspection on the building. And so we're checking doors and all that stuff. And so I had to go check a door to see if it was locked. So I go outside, the guy that I'm with, I'm like, shut the door. Let's see if it's locked. See if it's blah, blah, blah. So I go to open the door, and there is a bug on the inside of the handle, but I couldn't see it because it's on the inside of the
Oh.
handle.
no.
So I went like that,
No.
and then it fell down. And I went, ah! Okay. And then I was like, okay, David, you can open the door now. Open the door. Open the door. And then he goes, oh, the door's stuck. I can't open the door. Oh, I'm like, yes, you can.
Open it right
You're
now.
not funny. I know what you're doing. I'm like, open the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, open
Yeah.
the door. So then upon further inspection of the outside of this door, there is bugs all over this door.
Mm-mm.
And it's like not it's like
Oh my
it's not funny
gosh.
anymore. I'm like, David, open the
That's
door.
gross.
And then he opens the
Yeah.
door, another bug falls down. I scream, I run inside, and I'm like, that was the worst thing of my life. And I'm like, yeah, people are like, Casey, you're so dramatic. I don't care. I am so scared. I'm so scared and I
gross.
do not care. I don't care. The worst thing I think of all the animals and small animals in specific, you know those little millicentipedes?
Yes.
Get out of
I-
here. 100%.
Okay, so there was a time where we lived in a house. It was for about a year. My bedroom was in the basement, and they love to live in
Mm-mm.
basements. And they just
No.
all over the ground with their millions of legs. And I would
And they like don't bite. They're
No.
not like a harm.
No, they don't
but
do
they're
anything.
so scary
they're
looking.
so scary. And I would get out of bed some mornings and I would step on
Stop.
step on them. Okay.
Oh my
And
gosh.
when you step on them, they curl into a
Yes.
ball.
Yes.
and they also smell horrible. They smell
I don't remember
horrible.
that.
And so when I think of the worst animal, I think of that. And then anything that flies at me,
Yeah.
I'll just scream. So, like, if I can truly think of something that would terrify me, like in a millisecond, in a matter of moments, it would be that.
Mm.
I would rather
Yeah,
just
totally.
run away.
Any kind of bee, even if it's like a honeybee, one that's not going to sting me, it's
Yeah,
a threat.
get out of there.
Oh, because it's flying.
Yeah.
Like around me.
It's flying. It's going
Yeah.
to come get me.
So speaking of just bugs and animals, I actually have this story about a fear that I didn't know I should have, but I found this animal inside my home. So to set the scene, I live in just a kind of ranch style house, so just like one level. It's in rural Charlotte, so there's like a whole like kind of like back foresty thing. It's a neighborhood, but it's like in the forest, whatever. One day I'm at a friend's house. I'm not even home. I get a FaceTime call from one of my roommates and she shows me, kid you not, a snake in the house. Snake
No.
inside the house. Black snake,
No.
probably like 3 feet long, chilling by the fireplace. And I'm like, that cannot be real. The snake has to be outside. How did it get inside? But apparently there was a little hole like right by the fireplace that like goes outside, whatever. So it crawled right back in there. And we immediately called our landlord and we're like, you gotta come fix this because what the heck. So I didn't know I should have a fear of snakes inside the house. But yeah, that happened to me and I can say it's not fun. So maybe I have another fear of finding other things. I mean, there's been frogs and like those like cockroachy things, but I feel like that's kind of it's gross, but it's kind of typical if you live like out in the woods, whatever. We also have like big trees and like a fireplace, and I'm sure bugs come off of that and whatever. But the snake, that's not okay. That's not okay. And now
Yeah.
it's a fear that I didn't know I should have, and it came true. So
Yeah.
gross.
I literally hate that for you.
Oh, it was terrifying. And I wasn't home, thankfully, so I didn't have to see it in the flesh. But it was enough to just see it on FaceTime. I don't think I came home for 3
Yeah.
weeks.
What I'm learning in this moment is none of us would do well in Australia.
No,
No.
None of us.
which is a bummer because
No.
it's high on my list.
I know. They have snakes and spiders and every kind of animal.
And they're all poisonous.
Yeah, they'll kill
Don't
you.
they have like the massive spiders?
like most of the ones here are fine.
Yeah.
Right. For the most part. Yeah, I like, have you guys seen that video of a snake that came down through a ceiling fan?
Yes. I know the things that we
Fan
see on
is spinning,
TikTok.
and the snake is like trying to get
yes.
down and like keeps
Yeah.
moving his head. And then the guy's recording it, and then the snake eventually gets too low, gets caught in the fan, gets hucked in a circle, and then right at the guy who's recording. That
No.
would send me over
Oh,
the
that'd be
edge.
too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Oh
would
my
be too
gosh.
much.
Yeah.
No.
But I've just seen too many Australia videos of like, oh, look at this guy that got in our house today. It's like a 10-foot python, and they're like, whatever.
Oh.
No.
No.
Absolutely
So
not.
not Australia on the bucket list. Gotta take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
I have one from my childhood, a fear that I had, which I would put in the rational category. I just had a fear that my parents would get a divorce, and I don't even know where that came from because my
Oh
like
yeah.
everyone, I think all of my like middle high school friends, their parents were together, but I think I just had this fear like, what if they break up and then like we have to do to Christmas and whatnot. I truly had this fear like so much that I like
Mm.
cried about it a couple times. I'm like, I just don't want you guys. And my parents would always be like, we're
Oh my
literally not going
gosh.
to. You're okay. Like, where
We're
did that come from? I'm
fine.
like, I don't know. Maybe I caught wind that a loose someone, was separated or something. And I'm like, I just don't want that to happen. So
Yeah.
for the longest time, I had that fear. But my dad was actually like really sweet and he was, giving me a lot of comfort. And he was like, listen, I just love
Aw.
your mom so much. I
Yeah.
just would never do that. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Aw.
But that at one point really
Yes.
was a terrifying fear for me.
That's
I had a
horrible.
similar, not divorce, but I think, do you guys remember like Uptown Girls, that movie
I don't know.
Can
with
you
like
describe
really
the?
young Dakota
Oh,
Fanning?
Dakota Fanning.
And I don't remember who the older girl was. Brittany Murphy, maybe?
I'm looking it up
She
super
died.
super
Same.
fast.
Look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's the title of this movie, but like she like nannies this girl, this little girl,
Oh,
Dakota
okay.
Fanning.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes,
her
yes,
parents
yes.
like both died.
Yeah.
And like
Yes.
the whole movie, I don't even remember really the plot. That was one of those shows that was like always on ABC Family.
Yes.
And I don't really remember the plot of the show, but I just remember
Mm.
weeping because her parents died. And then like I think the little girl's mom died too or something. And I was so afraid specifically of my mom dying. Because like,
Mm.
when you're like little, your mom is like your
Yeah.
person.
Totally.
Like that was like, like who's like mainly caretaking,
Mhm.
like dad's at work. I obviously would be sad. Obviously would be sad my dad died too. But like specifically I remember being like I could not live without my
Yeah.
mom. Like I need
Mm.
her.
Oh, that's
And so
sad.
that was a fear that little Meredith had. I would like
Yeah.
cry at night
Mm.
thinking about if my mom
Yeah.
died.
That's really
I
sad.
used to be scared that my dad would die
Mm.
because my
Oh,
grandpa passed away, I think, when he was like 52 or 53.
Yeah, that's young.
And my parents are like a little bit older because I'm the youngest of like big age gap basically between me and my siblings. But
yeah.
I was always afraid that my dad wasn't going to make it to that age or that
Mm.
like life was going to stop because I never met my grandpa, so I was just like, it's not going to happen. Well, because like he didn't make it, so like what are the chances my dad is going to? And my grandpa lived a drastically different life than my dad and made a lot of different choices. Um yeah, but so I thought he was I didn't think he was able to make it
Mm.
past that date because it happened before, so historically he was not able to live past that date. So I was like holding my breath, and I think I was in maybe like elementary school or like early middle school when I first started like thinking about it
Mm.
because it was kind of around the corner at that point.
Yeah. That is
That's
scary.
scary.
But I mean, he's still kicking, so
It's still good.
we're good.
Praise God.
He got the type 2 diabetes, but he's all right.
Stop.
But he's fine.
I mean, I kind of had a similar thing because my grandma on my mom's side died like before I was born from a brain tumor, and I always thought like brain tumors were super genetic, and I don't believe they are. I think they're just kind of, I don't even know what it would be, but it's only a small portion of the tumors that are actually like genetic. But my grandma also died like fairly young, and so I was also like, oh my gosh. But it was, my mom would also make it a big deal, like, oh wow, I'm like the age that my mom was. I'm like, I'm like, don't say that. But she just meant for her it
Yeah.
was more so I'm like, oh
Ah.
wow, like I'm taking it in because like I didn't really ever get to see this from my mom. So it was a sweet sentiment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when she said that, I was like, no,
Aw.
you
It's still
can't say,
scary. It's still
I think
scary.
my sister would always
Mhm.
be like, you can't say the C word, cancer, because so not the bad word, but cancer, because she Meredith gave me a face. Not the other one.
Not the other bad word.
Just because it was so scary. So I feel like maybe that is a childhood thing of like your fears are related to like like something happening to your family member, because you really are
Totally.
dependent on them, and that's your whole world. It still is your world. It
Mm-hmm.
just kind of looks different when you're older and maybe make your own families and whatever. So I don't know, but I get that would be a fear for probably a lot of kids. I have I have another one related to a bug, and it's the tick, getting stung by a tick and getting Lyme's
Oh.
disease.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Ticks do not
Okay,
sting.
well, what do they do?
They
Sorry. Okay,
bite.
bite. Bitten by a tick.
It's okay. Honestly, in my head, it's
Same.
synonymous.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, they latch onto you
Gross.
and they stay on you as
Mm-hmm.
long as they can, and they get bigger and bigger and
And
suck your blood,
suck
which is
your
super
blood.
different than getting
I'm
stung
so
really
sorry
quick.
to disrespect the
Yeah.
anatomy of the
I'm
tick.
just I'm just saying it's just not the same. You got to be careful with those ticks. They like burrow inside of you.
Oh, yeah. I never until recently experienced a tick on me, but I visited my boyfriend's family, and they only live a couple hours from here in Charlotte, and came back, took my hat off, and saw this thing fall off of me, and I thought it was a spider, but it was a tick. And then I immediately was uh, like I literally had like
I'm
100%.
dying.
I went there in my head. I was like, this is the end of me. And it wasn't.
Lyme
And
disease.
like, yeah, that's where I went in my head. Lyme's
Mm-hmm.
disease. And I know there's actually a couple of people in my life that um are living with Lyme's disease, and so I feel like I got to hear their story, which is like really kind of interesting and cool. But sometimes it does put a fear, like, what if I did, and then it affects me in this way. You know what I mean? I think just diseases in general are kind of my adult
Yeah.
fear. Going back to the parasites, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I think like autoimmune diseases or something that just kind of pops up out of nowhere as an
Yeah.
adult, and there's like nothing you can really do besides just combat it and fight it your whole life because
Totally.
there's no medicine or anything you can take. That's really
Yeah.
scary.
Do you have any other rational before irrational? I have a couple like kind of random off the cusp, but they're more funny.
Well, one that I think that I have been battling and like have been doing a better job with is the fear of people thinking I'm incapable.
Okay.
Mm.
Like looking stupid, um people thinking that I'm like not smart, like I'm not able to do things. Um because I just know that it's not true.
Mm.
Like I know that I am able to do things, and I know that I'm not stupid, and I know that I mean there are some things I can't do. I'm not great at a lot of sports or sports knowledge,
As we learned
as we learned
the week
last week.
prior.
And like things like that like don't really bother me that much anymore. I used to be really afraid of like just looking stupid
Mm.
and like being people being like, "Oh my gosh,
Mm.
she can't do this," But as I like just get older and get more comfortable with who I am, that like isn't really as much of a fear anymore. But I would say like 5 years ago, yeah, totally.
Mm.
I think that was a huge fear. And I think that went along with like fear of not being accepted. Like you said earlier, of like everyone deciding like, "All
Yeah.
right, we don't want to be your friend anymore because I'm not good
Mm.
enough
Mm.
at so and so or whatever. But now I just know like, nope, that's just not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
How do you like combat those fears? Like, do you like speak like truth over those like lies, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, it is distinguishing like my feelings from
Mm.
truth. Like, okay, and maybe it feels like this person hates me, or maybe it feels like I don't have any friends, but like that's not
Mm.
true. Um, like kind of just like facing the facts of like, so I'm not that great at pickleball. Does that mean that the friends that I played with today think that I'm like
Mm.
lesser than? No, because they're my
Mm.
friends. And if they do think that, then they're not
Yeah.
friends. So it's kind of just like separating those feelings. I'm a very feeling based person, so that has been like hard for me to do that. But I'm
Mm.
working on it.
That's a valid fear.
That's good.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm trying to think. I didn't have it written down, but I was thinking about just like I feel like I have all these like goals for my life of like what I want to do and what I want to accomplish, whether that's, doing like design on the side and maybe that picks up and I can, have a studio one day or have X, Y, and Z, or it could look different with like my kikications. Like, how do I make like traveling be part of like my everyday and like, because I'm kind of a work environment, on the side or whatever. But I feel like there's a fear of like, am I gonna like ever get motivated enough to do it? Because it's always like there. Like, oh yeah, it would be so cool if, but I struggle with like being disciplined to like go ahead and do the thing. Hence, the 75 soft. I'm like, I need something. If it's not a hard discipline, let's ease into it. Okay, but I have this fear of like maybe not accomplishing my goals, and sometimes that makes me feel stagnant
Mm,
because I'm like, okay, well now I'm so fearful that what if it doesn't happen the way that I want it to also.
yeah. I could not agree with you more, Kara. I feel like you're just speaking to my soul.
Mm.
Ours are a little different, whereas like I'm not like super passionate about design, but mine's more of like music. And I have so many projects that aren't ready, and they're not. Like I've done so many things. I've made so many videos. Wrote so many songs and done literally zilch with them because I'm just like, well, it sucks.
Mm.
But who's to say like it
Yeah.
sucks because I'm literally the only one who heard it, and so I'm
Yeah.
going based off of just like my own thoughts, which is super unreliable. But like I remember, I think I was like 13 or 14 maybe, and I think I'd started like a YouTube channel or something. I had posted a couple songs on there, and like some people had like commented on it, and I was like super excited. I was like playing the piano, and I'm like young and impressionable, and I decided I was going to be the next Justin Bieber girl version and get discovered by Scooter Braun, which LOL. Um
LOL.
LOL. But I was like, hey, you got to start somewhere. And I was really, really passionate about it. And I would come home after school and I would do something every single day. And then my family found my YouTube channel and they were like, hey, let's play a song. And they played it out loud in front of me. I went home. I said, absolutely shut this off.
Mm.
I deleted
Oh.
the YouTube page and I never touched it again.
That's so
Well, because I
sad.
deleted it and
Oh.
you can't touch something you deleted. So
Yeah.
that to me, I was like, okay, well, obviously they're making
Oh.
fun of me and it sucked. Everything, like for me, it's like I want to follow through with it. And
Mm.
then I like pull myself back because I'm like, oh, because it's not good enough. Because I'm like 100% like a
Yeah.
perfectionist. And if it's not good enough, then why would I share it with other people? And so it is also really scary when you do something completely on your own. Like you've done everything, you've come up with every aspect of whatever project you're doing. Like take music out of it. Saying you're just being creative or you have this idea and you do everything yourself and no one else is accountable for it except for you. And then someone doesn't like it. It's basically like someone like slapping you across the face and be
Mm.
like, never do that
Yeah.
again. And so it's this fear of just like actually pushing yourself to do it and just because you don't know what the results are going to be.
Right.
It's all made up. It's
Yeah.
all made up in your mind. And Bryce and I were watching this documentary on Netflix yesterday. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I'll like link it or post it or whatever. But basically, the most important system in your body is the nervous system. And it's like this a bunch of little like wiry things all going out through your body constantly. And it helps you like feel, it helps you imagine, it helps you literally your personality, every aspect of who you are as a person. And these different connections and stuff can be strengthened with practice and time. And when they say you can teach yourself to do something, literally what's happening is you're creating new channels. And so you have to just like keep practicing and keep repetitioning whatever it is that you want to be successful
Mm.
at. So when they say like 10,000 hours, essentially what's happening is you're creating new pathways in your brain to exist for long term. So like if you do something really quick and you remember it, it's not like a solid, it's more of like a chemical bond rather than a structural bond is kind of how they described
Hmm.
it. So it's like you can do it once and then it like kind of sticks because you kind of still remember it, but if you're not practicing that skill, so eventually that like connection just completely disappears. But the more you practice it and the more you try, you can literally get your brain to like accept whatever you want your reality to be. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, totally. And then the documentary ends and then reality comes back and then you're like, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so not just, I mean, you've put in your biggest desire in life in that. And it's really the people who decide to be the most ambitious and not even ambitious and like, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to outwork you. It's like, no, I really just truly want this and desire this so much that I'm just going to keep doing it. And like, whatever happens, happens. And yeah, that's just really hard because I'm a perfectionist and I want it to be perfect. And anything I do, it better be the best thing that's ever happened to myself or
Yeah.
anyone. And that's just, duh, that doesn't even make sense. But,
Mm.
you know, bleh.
I know. I think there's
That's good.
some deep fears. Even I'm like, I mean, one of my fears, which would never happen, but like, if we were like never, like, if we weren't friends again, you know, like our
Oh, yeah,
friendship
that was
stopped,
yeah.
like, would never happen. But I'm like, that would be I feel like an irrational fear. But just like I
Yeah.
can't imagine my
That'll
life
never happen.
without you guys, and like just like like I really
Yeah.
feel like family and friends like are all
Yeah.
so important, or like even understanding like kind of what you were saying earlier, Mare, of like understanding yourself on this other level, or like being like a fear of like someone not, you know, accepting you or whatever. Like I don't know. I feel like if I could sit in this topic forever, I could come up with a million fears.
Oh,
Mm.
totally. Yeah. It's hard to list like
Yeah.
just like one or two. But I think that's a good one to like
Yeah.
round it out on.
Love it.
Well, thanks, guys.
Mm.
Do you have a little segment?
Mare brings down the
Yay!
mood.
I love this segment.
Okay. We have two options. One, if you turned into an egg for a year, who's taking care of you?
That's amazing.
Dang.
Okay. Okay.
And the other option is tell us any story that involves sleep deprivation.
Oh, I got a good one for that.
Oh boy, let's do
I
the
Yeah?
got a
sleep
real good one for
deprivation.
that. Well, I
Okay,
can't do
Case,
the
go
first
ahead.
one because Bryce hates eggs, and I don't know who else would take it.
So no one's taking care of you.
No one else would take.
So
I feel like
no one.
just Anna.
Oh
She would take care
yeah.
of me. Yeah, she
Yeah.
probably would. Thanks, Jess.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my sleep deprivation / sleepwalking story.
Oh.
So this is also really embarrassing, exposing myself. I really was into Justin Bieber. Like, I was really into him. Okay, I think a lot of us were, but like, I was really into him. I still had a flip phone at the time. This is the year like 2009, 2010 or something like that. And I don't know why I did this. I had notifications turned on for any time Justin Bieber tweeted on my flip phone.
Dang. That's a lot of time.
On my flip phone.
That's so funny.
Why? Why did I do that? I don't know, but I did.
That's
And
really
so,
good.
also RIP Twitter, X now, but I'm still gonna call it Twitter. I don't even care.
Same.
Yeah, totally.
So I would get texts like periodically throughout the day because Justin Bieber used to tweet a lot, like so much that I had to.
It's like he was texting
I know
you.
I had to shut it off because his name went like Justin Bieber. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm over it now. We all had our moment though. So anyway, I had to tell you that to set the scene. So it was freshman year, and the school season's the school volleyball season's about to start. So it's fall, and we went through this period where we were like moving a lot. That's a whole nother story. But basically what happened is we lived on an apartment, or like in an apartment that was on my high school's like campus. And so it was very, very close to school. So with that being said, we had early morning volleyball practice, and I was like trying to make varsity. I was trying to really like be impressionable and like make my mark. And so I set my alarm so that I could be ready to go to practice. Okay. My volume's all the way up on my
Oh
phone.
no.
Like I am ready to go. So Justin Bieber decides to tweet at like 3 in the morning.
What?
Okay. I don't know where he was at, but it was 3 in the morning my time. Okay. And he tweets, I subconsciously hear my alarm going off. Okay. But it's actually just Justin Bieber tweeting. And I don't remember this, but I get up, I grab my volleyball bag, I grab all my stuff, and I start walking down the stairs of my apartment because remember, I'm right next to my high school, and I start walking to practice. I don't know this,
And you're
and I'm
asleep.
asleep.
Oh.
And then I wake up outside with my mom shaking me, going, Casey, what are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
And I wake up and I'm standing outside, and I'm like, Mommy,
Mom,
what
what's
am I doing
happening?
here?
Oh my
And I was like,
gosh.
she's like, you're sleepwalking. You need to go back inside. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what time is it? She's like, it's like 3 in the morning. I had practice at like 6 or something. So clearly not even the same time. So I
Yeah.
go back upstairs, and trying to go to sleep after that is not really easy. I don't think I slept very well
No
that night.
way. Not when Justin's
Exactly.
texting.
and then I like looked at my phone. I'm like, well, why did I wake up? And like I maybe was having like a vague memory of like turning my alarm off or something. And I look at my phone, and Justin Bieber had tweeted, and it was not my alarm. It was just my notification that little Justin was tweeting about something. I don't know what he
Oh,
tweeted about,
no.
but
I like that.
it was really scary. So Justin, I do blame you for
Comes
that.
out with a new
I
single,
almost
Baby.
Yeah.
Probably was around that time.
yeah, I mean
That's
a little
funny.
bit, but yeah. So anyway, almost
Hmm.
killed myself. My dad thought I was sneaking out, which I would have never snuck out. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
That's funny.
and I quote to my mother, "That little sucker's sneaking out."
That little
That little
sucker.
sucker.
That's what he said. I'm like, I literally never did anything bad, Dad. Why would you instantly go to me sneaking out? I didn't even do anything. So anyway, almost killed myself sleepwalking, trying to get to morning practice.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
That's
wild.
a good one.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, I feel like I have a lot of sleep deprivation stories only because I am tired after 9 p.m. It gets bad. I do get a second wind at 11, so in college I really tried to get over that first hump, you know what I mean, stick it out so that I can stay up. So I would never call myself like an early sleeper. Is that what you call it? I never go to bed early, but I do get tired a lot. But I do have this memory kind of recent, like in the last 2 years. I was flying out of Raleigh, which is like 2.5 hours from Charlotte. I guess it was just the cheapest flight or something. And I think I landed at like 11:40 p.m. or something, and I had to drive back because it was like a Sunday night. I had to drive back for work the next day. And I just remember being like, I'm fine. I feel, I'm in the car, like I'm good. I just got off the plane. I have this adrenaline. Well, I get like 30 minutes into the trip and I'm dying.
Oh,
I'm dying. And I mean, I'm sure I'm swerving at this point. And I know this because at one point I'm going like, 10, 11 over. No
naturally.
cops around me, not getting another, warrant. None of that, but there was a semi like a little bit behind me and I remember him laying on his horn for like a mile at me and I was terrified. Like I'm sure it was because I was getting in his lane and whatever. He probably had every right to be. But it was like the longest, loudest, most annoying and I was so scared. I think I pulled over at one point because I look over and the guy's just, flipping me off naturally. But he like
Mm.
I remember looking
Mhm.
at him though and being so terrified that I was like I mean, yeah, I probably could have killed myself or killed him in the process, or he could have been so mad that he, I don't know, I don't know. I feel like they'd be
Jumped out of his
wildin'
truck.
at
He
especially at
was
1 a.m.
probably he was probably trying to like secretly save your life a little bit,
I hope
considering it
so.
sounds like you were driving like a maniac, and you probably look like you were
Yeah.
either drunk, on drugs, or
Right.
sleeping. So he was probably trying to help
Yeah.
you,
Or
Or all.
or all. Yeah.
just
So
tired
he's probably trying to help you, poor thing. But I mean, he probably could have gone about it like a
a
little bit of
little
a nicer way.
differently.
But at the same time,
Yeah.
like, how do you help somebody? I mean, the
Exactly.
horn is probably his biggest asset in
Exactly.
terms of how he can help
And
you.
he's like massive and my little car is so puny to him. He's like,
Right.
get it
Right.
off. Like I will, if something's happening, like I'm running you over, like this is not going to be good for
Yeah.
anyone. So I think
Yeah.
he probably
Part
did
of me
save my
is
life.
really thankful for him, though.
Yeah.
Part of him is really
He probably did.
'cause who knows what would have happened
God
to you.
bless him.
Wherever you are, if you're listening to this podcast,
God bless.
I don't know who you are, but thanks for listening. But yeah, I would say that's the most recent like near car accident. See, now I know I cannot drive past 10 p.m. Really, I shouldn't be doing
probably
long.
could have told you that, but I'm glad you know now.
Yeah, well, I always tell myself, I downplay it. I'm like, I'm fine. Like and normally I'm fine in the moment, but 5 minutes later I'm not, and I need to think ahead a little bit more. It's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's really
that would be
funny.
mine. What's yours, Mare?
So my story is sophomore year at Heston, environmental science with Morelby.
No clue.
Is that her name?
That sounds
professor?
right,
I think it has
actually.
Bryce.
I think one of you was in this class with me,
I don't think I ever
and
took that.
Keegan was in it too.
Probably me.
Maybe it was Bryce. I don't know.
I think Bryce was in it actually. So anyways, environmental science, there was a paper due. It was like, guys, shortest paper ever. It was literally like a response. Like we had to read this chapter and write like a page
Like
response,
500
like 3
words or something.
paragraphs. Totally. But it was it was like 1 a.m. I had just finished a shift at the Lark's Nest at the like snack shack.
Man, you used to give us free stuff all the time.
Yeah.
We stole so much from that place. Sorry.
Probably
Oh,
hundreds of
no.
dollars.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I got ice cream from you like every night.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And that's how like it was with everyone who worked there. Like everyone was like, yeah,
Yeah,
just take
true.
it.
That place
You know?
probably didn't even make any money.
No, literally no money. But anyways, so I just got off a shift there. It was like 1 a.m. and I was just so tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. But I had to write this little paper. And so my thought process was, okay, I'm going to write a paragraph and then I'm going to sleep for an hour. And then I'm going to get up and write another paragraph.
Oh my god.
And then I'm going to sleep
We've
for
been
another hour.
there. I've been there.
Yeah.
Guys, in the morning, I proofread that paper. Literally,
I
gibberish.
wish you still had
Like,
that.
I do too. At one point, I remember there was a paragraph that was about chicken nuggets and ranch dressing,
That's hilarious.
which had nothing to
I
do
feel
with
like
the
that's-
chapter.
Sounds
Like-
familiar for some reason.
Wait, okay.
I think I've told you
Okay.
guys this story before.
I think I remember, Kira, you were recording yourself for class because we had to give like a big presentation where we talk
The
through it.
Hausgeschichte?
And you were recording yourself and you kept falling asleep while you were recording yourself. And then you'd wake up and you'd keep talking.
I think.
And then you'd fall asleep and you'd keep talking.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh, my
also
word.
familiar.
Oh my gosh, guys, how did we like pass?
Honestly, I don't know.
Barely.
Barely.
That's funny, Mare. I wish we still had that. I would totally post that on Instagram if we did.
I do too. That laptop is no more. That was my old HP. I waited to get a Mac until my senior year of college.
I feel like I
did
remember
college
you
the
saying
wrong
like,
way.
I'm going to hang on. And like, I'm just going to see how far I can take her.
I tried, and it just like absolutely died. And so then I got a Mac, like fall of senior year, which was just entirely too late. Guys, if you're going to
Just
college,
get a
get a
Mac
MacBook.
from-
It just is so superior. It's not even funny.
Oh my gosh.
So,
That's a
anyways,
good
that's
story.
mine.
The college days
I
of
love
just
that.
truly thinking
The
we're
college days.
invincible by just napping throughout the night to get something done. You know?
Oh, my mom often brings this one up. This is a short story, but I would like senior year at Northwestern, I would park on the street by our apartment, knowing that I couldn't park overnight, and I would be like in bed, going to bed, sleep, and be like, "Oh my gosh, I parked on the street. I need to move my car." And I would think like, honestly, $30 ticket is worth going to sleep right now. And then I'd go to sleep and then wake up and yep, there's a $30 ticket, and be like, frick, I'm never doing that again. And I would do it again.
I
the
wonder
next
how much
night.
you had like piled up. Do you know how much money you spent on parking tickets?
At least $200,
Really?
probably, honestly.
Mare.
Like, oh, it was kind of
well,
often.
I guess in 2
yeah.
years.
Also, they had a
Did I
horrible
have
parking.
the money to do that?
Northwestern had
They had
terrible,
terrible
parking.
parking.
Fix your
Yeah.
stuff because it was bad.
You either had 10
And it
spots
got
right
worse.
Terrible parking.
close
because they
or
built
not.
they built a building right on top of the best parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And they are doing that
For
again.
which?
They are.
Yeah. There's a girls' dorm going up called Christie Suites.
Interesting. Where will it be?
And I think this is the plan. Coley is going to get torn down, and the guys are going to move into Fern.
You can have Fern.
And Fern, so then it's going to be like
Take it.
Steg and Christie Suites. It's kind of by North Suites, like north of the Learning Commons.
Okay, you lost me at North.
Same. The North Suites.
Bryce was in North.
I know, but
North
like
Suites.
that doesn't mean like a direction to me. It just means like an area.
Okay. So if you're looking,
You're at the admissions building.
okay, North Suites is here. Our apartment that we lived in is like on the right. Christie Suites is going to be on the left.
I'm just gonna take your word for it.
I'm envisioning.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I am.
Yep. Or like you're walking from like Zwemer, like that old building. Here's the Learning Commons. And then here's Christie Suites.
Okay.
You act like you don't know, but I think you know,
I think
Casey.
you
I
do.
don't know any of these names. I don't know any of these names. I think I blocked it all out.
Do you know what the LC is?
Oh, the LC. I know it.
Is that the library?
Wait,
Yes.
isn't that the Learning Commons?
Oh,
Yes. That's
okay.
LC
Yeah.
Is
Learning
that what
Commons.
they call? Okay, the library.
Also,
Yeah.
for those of you listening, if
Yeah.
this is your first episode, Meredith
so
lives
sorry.
where we went to college, so I would say she is
Yes.
well
So I'm
versed.
here.
She's well
She's well
versed in what's
versed.
going on.
We are
clearly.
trying to remember.
Yeah, I know north, south, east, and west.
I honestly, that's one of my goals. That's on my vision board this year, to know the directions, because I don't.
I feel pretty
I'm
confident
giving up on
in
myself
that,
on
actually.
Yeah,
that.
if I'm lost, I'm calling
give
Mare.
up.
She's gonna get me out of there.
I'm here for
Mhm.
you. Well, guys, this
That
was
was
a fun episode.
fun.
Thanks for sharing your fears.
Both big and small.
Hopefully it wasn't like a downer.
I think. Oh,
I know.
of
I have
like,
kind of a funny one
you know.
because I did ask my boyfriend's friends, he's gaming with them right now, what their irrational fears. So this could be a kind of funny way to like end it. One of them said plastic
I like it.
bags. LOL. I don't know why.
Did he give a
As
reason
okay.
behind that?
like
I don't know, to be
asphyxiation?
honest. No
Mm.
reason.
Maybe.
But we're gonna go with that one. And
I
then
like
the
it,
other one
okay.
was getting acne again.
Again.
And I thought that one was
That's so real.
That's
kind of
That's so
that's
real.
probably more
Honestly,
rational than
yeah.
anything.
Or like something like psoriasis or some sort of skin
Yeah.
thing that you just can't really get rid
Yeah.
of.
You just have to kind of live
Oh.
with. Ugh.
But we'll end on plastic
Yeah.
bags. That was a little bit more funny, but
Yeah, and on plastic bags. Key
Yeah, I
brings
know.
down the
Do
moon.
I really
you
tried
ever
to
feel
bring it up.
like a plastic bag,
Like a plastic
drifting
bag.
through the wind.
wanting to start again.
Keep
Maybe
going.
that's why he's scared.
Yeah.
of it. Maybe he's actually
Maybe.
scared of Katy
Maybe.
Perry.
Yeah.
I am.
You should have added that on your list earlier. Number 1,
Oh yeah.
Katy Perry. Oh gosh.
Katy
Well, this
Perry.
is fun. You guys please follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere your podcasts are played, and make sure that you rate, review, like, subscribe. I don't even know the lingo, but please do all of it. Share it so that
That's
everybody can
great.
find us and listen to us.
Tell your
Tell
friends.
your friends. If you have any fun things that you want us to talk about, you can email us at itsbeenforeverpod@gmail.com. And I think that's
Or
it.
just DM us on Instagram. That's all good.
Exactly. We'll answer
Too.
you.
That's all good.
Well, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bow, bow, bow.